Because if you look at the Udemy reports on distraction in the workplace, and of course the advent of social media, what we are now seeing is that up to 2 hours a day is being lost in productivity due to the smartphone. How much is that costing you? Well, let's put some simple maths around it. Let's say at a very simple 30 euros an hour. 30 euros an hour, which would be quite small in the world of business, times 2 a day. 60 times 5 is 300. Times even 40 weeks. What have we got there? Very quickly, about 15,000 euros of time. So we need to look at how we deal with that. But the most important thing is also the clear line between work and personal use of a phone has now been just wiped out. Change the way that we work. Use the knowledge, skills and experience of previous generations. I've just given you a couple examples of it. How it worked in the past, it wouldn't work today, but we can take the valuable lessons from each of that and integrate it. I think we all have a responsibility to make sure that the generations coming up behind us get the best of us. And I think it's quite sad, and I'm not blaming people, it's just part of life. And I come from a different generation, that I often see so many children in restaurants, maybe 4 or 5 children around a table and their parents at another table, and those children have iPads and phones. I think children should have full access to all of that educational value. However, I think we are selling them short in terms of communication. If they're sitting with 3 or 4 of their own peer group, I think it would be much better if they were talking to one another. I was looking out of my window and from a bedroom looking down the street last October, late in the evening, so it was quite dark. And I see this shadow coming up the road. And I'm going, what's that? And I suddenly realise it's a young lad of about 14 on an e-scooter. No lights, no high vis, hoodie, all black, and he's doing a fair old belt on that thing. And as he goes past, I notice just one light. He's on the wrong side of the road, and there he is with his hand out and his phone. And he's trying to engage in his phone while doing about 20 kilometers an hour, holding onto the scooter with one hand. And I just thought to myself, I'd love to meet his parents, just to say, who gave him the phone? No, we did. Yeah, great. And who gave him the scooter? We did. You might as well have given him the keys to the car. That's an accident waiting to happen. Let's just recap on what I'm talking about here. In terms of the 3 R's, firstly, recognize what you're seeing happening around you in terms of communications. Let's just start there. Now that you see it on a daily basis, just don't ignore it. Respond to it. And responding means not being a sort of a dictator in imposing rules, but sit down and agree rules with your own people. Because guess what? They will be delighted to be taken away from the addiction. They'll be delighted to be taken away from the distraction of the world in which they're finding ourselves in. We don't have a map for the future. We don't know where we're going. But let's make technology work for us. And finally, don't forget to review. All good strategies require review. Let's see how it's working. If it's working, great. But keep an eye on it and keep tweaking it. We have a chance. We're in a world, the future is just not as clear. So just remember the 3 R's to take you into a successful business future. Thank you very much.